Have you ever been called something that felt like an insult, something that hurt so deeply you wondered if you would ever escape its shadow? Imagine your own father, the one meant to bless you, looking you in the eyes and calling you a donkey. That's exactly what happened to Issachar, the fifth son of Leah, one of Jacob's sons. His very identity seemed wrapped up in a name that sounded humiliating, but hidden inside that strange blessing was a lesson that still speaks to us today. A lesson about strength, endurance, and the weight of carrying more than most people ever see. Issachar's story begins quietly. Unlike his brothers Judah or Joseph, Issachar doesn't dominate the stage of the Bible. We don't hear his voice thundering in the wilderness, we don't see him standing in Pharaoh's palace, and we don't read of any great battles he fought. Instead, he is remembered by a single line from Jacob: Issachar is a strong donkey, lying down between two burdens. At first glance, it feels unfair, doesn't it? Why would Jacob speak like this? Was he mocking his son? Was he cursing him? Or was he giving him a truth that the rest of us must dig deep to uncover? The truth is, Jacob was not insulting Issachar, he was painting a picture. A donkey may not look majestic like a lion, or fierce like a wolf, or swift like a deer, but a donkey is strong. Quietly, stubbornly strong. It carries weight that would crush another animal. It moves slowly, but it does not break. The donkey does not live for applause or recognition. It simply carries what others cannot. And in this simple strength, Issachar's blessing comes alive. Think about your own life for a moment. How many times have you felt unnoticed, carrying the heavy loads no one else sees? You show up for your family, even when no one thanks you. You bear the weight of responsibility, the weight of pressure, the weight of disappointment. You endure silently. To the world, you might look like nothing special, just another ordinary person, but God sees your strength. God sees the load you carry. And in His eyes, you are not weak. You are Issachar, strong and steady under the weight of life's burdens. The tribe of Issachar, descended from him, carried this identity forward. In the book of Judges, we see them willing to offer themselves in battle, strong and steadfast. But perhaps their most powerful legacy is in 1 Chronicles 12 verse 32, where it says the men of Issachar understood the times and knew what Israel should do. Isn't that amazing? The son once called a donkey becomes the ancestor of men who had wisdom, discernment, and the ability to guide an entire nation. Sometimes the very thing that feels like an insult, the very word spoken over you that seems harsh, is God's way of planting something deeper in your destiny. Jacob saw Issachar as one who bore burdens. But God turned that burden into wisdom. And isn't that how it works in our lives too? The struggles we endure, the heavy things we carry, are the very things that train us to see what others cannot. You can't understand wisdom without pain. You can't gain discernment without struggle. You can't see clearly what the future holds if you've never carried the weight of the present. Issachar's life teaches us that strength is not always in speed or glory, but in faithfulness, in carrying what God has trusted you to bear, and in learning through the heaviness. Now pause for a moment and think, what is the load you are carrying today? Is it financial struggle? Is it the weight of family responsibility? Is it the unseen pain of rejection or loneliness? Do not despise it. For just like Issachar, what feels like a burden may be shaping you into someone who understands the times, someone who can lead, someone who can guide others when the world is confused. There is another truth hidden in Issachar's name. In Hebrew, his name can mean, there is reward. How beautiful is that? The donkey may be strong, the burden may be heavy, but in the end, there is reward. Every tear you've cried in secret, every prayer whispered in the night, every sacrifice no one saw, God saw it. And the God who saw Issachar's quiet strength will see yours too. You may not be celebrated by men, but you will be rewarded by God. So, who was Issachar? He was the son who was called a donkey, but in reality, he was the son who carried wisdom, strength, and endurance. He was the one who proved that greatness is not always loud, not always in the spotlight, but sometimes hidden in the steady faithfulness of a life lived for God. He teaches us that being faithful in burdens leads to understanding, and understanding leads to destiny. Maybe you feel like Issachar today, overlooked, carrying heavy loads, misunderstood. If so, let this be your comfort. God sees you. God values the strength in your silence. And just as the sons of Issachar once knew what Israel should do, God is shaping you to know what to do in your time, in your family, in your generation. Your burden has purpose. Your endurance is not wasted. And your reward is coming. If this message has touched your heart and helped you feel closer to God's purpose for your life, don't keep it to yourself. Share this video with a friend or a loved one who needs to hear it. Remember to like this video, subscribe to John 3 verse 3, and turn on the notification bell to stay connected to God's Word. Stay blessed, and keep seeking His face.